Today we'll be going over the best weapon mounted lights for your rifle. Luckily, we're in a time now where there's not just one product or one company that stands up above the rest that is the clear front runner. There's a lot of companies coming out with really solid products that you can trust your life with. This video, I'm going to be going over a couple of those brands that I personally have used in the time that I've been around firearms, and the ones that I trust my life with, and then some other options as well that you can go with. So we're just going to be going over a couple different brands that I think are the best, along with some cheaper options that might be a really good option for those of you that are looking for a budget option that don't want to spend $300 on a flashlight. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and if you find my content helpful, please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. It does help out with the channel growth. Now I want to go over the sponsors of today's video real quickly. Brownells is a company that supports me a ton, and I really appreciate them. Use code TA10 to save 10% on orders $150 or more. You can save a lot of money on a different project, so make sure you take advantage of that. Another sponsor of the video is Self-Defense Company. They make these backpacks that hold body armor in them that you can pull and bring to the front like a plate carrier. It's non-discreet, and you're able to be protected wearing a backpack depending on what you're doing. If you're going to school or class, or you're going to work and you want to have the protection without having a plate carrier with all the time, but you still have the protection inside the backpack and easily accessible to you if you need it. They also make these jackets that you can put body armor in the back, along with having pockets here to easily access your concealed firearm. Once again, I want to thank the companies that support the channel in the videos. I couldn't do a lot of this without them. Let's get right into the video. Real quickly, let's go over my background. I am in law enforcement, so I use these lights on patrol, and then I'm also in SWAT, so I use these on entries or search warrants or any call-outs that we might have. So I've used these lights in different situations and scenarios, not just going to my backyard and testing them, which I've done, or clearing my own house, which I do all the time, but I have used these lights a little more extensively and a little more role that don't want something that's going to be cheap. I want something that's going to be working that I can rely on in those kind of situations. So let's go over my personal top favorite light that I go for, and that's going to be Cloud Defensive. That is what is here on my patrol rifle. I've tested a lot of different lights. This is the Cloud Defensive Rain 2.0. They have a 3.0. They also have the Legacy body, which accepts Surefire accessories, which I think was a huge upgrade for them, because a lot of people's biggest complaint with Cloud Defensive was the fact that it's proprietary and you have to use their tape switch, which their tape switch, it's good, it works. It has benefits like cable management, which is actually really cool, which I'll show you a video here. But some people have complaints with the buttons, and they'd rather have the Surefire stuff that is a little bit more options on the market. And pretty much every company makes accessories for the Surefire stuff. So it just gives you a lot more options to choose from when wanting to customize or make it a little more personable to yourself. So if Cloud Defensive wasn't an option for me and I wanted to go with something else, I'm going to give you those other brands here in a second that I would go with, because there are some other really good quality lights out there that I think are worth looking into as well, that I would absolutely use as well in this position if I needed to. But real quick, let's go over why I chose Cloud Defensive. So the output, the candela, the lumens, and the options that are on the light are the main reason that I went with these. So a lot of people look at lumens and think, okay, that's the most important number. It has to be over 1,000, which is a really important number. You do want over 1,000 lumens for a rifle light that you're looking to shoot 100 to 300 yards with in the dark. But what is even more important is candela output, and that is actually your usable light, the light that you can see and the light that goes out to that distance that you can use to be able to identify a subject or an item or whatever you're looking for. Candela is what is really important, and these Cloud Defensive have really high candela. I'll put up numbers here because I don't memorize all the numbers on the lights that I have, because I have a ton of different brands and different styles. But two other really important things with a rifle light for a patrol rifle like this, or home defense, or anything that you're using this for other than just like a plinking gun, is going to be durability and the fact that you have a fail-safe. So the durability on these are solid. I've done a lot of durability tests with these. I have the Cloud Defensive Owl as well. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those, but those are probably the most durable lights on the market. Unfortunately, they aren't being made anymore, but those are wonderful, wonderful lights. I had one on my Cobalt Kinetics for a while. Ended up switching it here for, so that's another video coming here soon. Be ready for that one. That's gonna be a fun one. Durability is solid on these. I've never had an issue with them. I think 8 of these Cloud Defensive Rains, and I've never had a single durability problem. But what I was mentioning by the fail-safe. So if my tape switch goes down, so you use your tape switch to be able to actuate your light and turn it on or off. If this goes down and breaks or gets snagged and rips off, I have a fail-safe right here. So this is able to actually turn my light on as well. That is something a lot more companies are switching to now you're seeing, but Cloud Defensive was one of the first to kind of have that stock on their lights that come with them. Cable management is phenomenal. You can put your cable in here, so little of your cable showing. The cable is much longer than that, but I'm able to tuck the cable inside the tape switch itself so you don't have any snags. So if you're manipulating your firearm and for some reason you get it close to a wall or anything that could potentially snag something, this wire is a snag hazard. A lot of times people will just tape it to their rail, but with this, you do not have to do it because it's all internal with the tape switch, and I really like that. This is not a flashlight review video, so let's move along to the other lights. I just wanted to touch on some really important features with this light and why I chose this for this rifle and why I kind of have this as my leading light right now. If you guys are interested, you can watch the full video here, but let's go over a couple of the other options that are in this price range that compare well to this. And then after that, I'll give you guys the really good budget option that I think is a phenomenal light for those of you that only want to spend around $100. The next light that I recommend is going to be your mod lights. These are in that same price range. They have fantastic candela, fantastic lumen outputs. Their numbers are great, rechargeable batteries, pretty much everything you want in a light that I think compares really well to the Cloud Defensive light. So definitely recommend mod light as well. This is the OKW. I have the P something something. I don't know. There's so many goofy names for different products. But again, I'll put all the numbers right here for you to see. But these have been great lights as well. The output is phenomenal, really easy to shoot out to distance if you want to at nighttime. They have a couple different heads, and what's really nice is their heads just fit on Surefire bodies. So I had a bunch of Surefire M600DFs, and I just ended up switching the heads out to the mod lights, and it's a really nice upgrade to those lights. So if you already have Surefire bodies and you're like, I don't really want to buy a $300 new light, you can just buy the head, rotate that out, and you're going to see a significant difference and upgrade in your light if you go that route. So this is a really simple setup because this is one of my really basic rifles that I built, just kind of showing what you can do a little bit more on a budget, especially with those of you that get issued a rifle. This is kind of what a lot of those rifles that you get issued look like. You got the front sight post still, you got your backup sights, I got an aim point duty RDS, and then just a simple flashlight upgrade. Just giving you guys an idea of what you can do if you don't really have the best option for a rifle. But mod light is a very good option. I would trust my life with it on a patrol rifle as well. Next option is going to be your Arisaka and Malakoff head combination. So this one I've had significantly less time behind the Cloud Defensive. I have had basically since they started. The second those came out is when I started running them with the Cloud Defensive Gen 1, the Rain 1, I guess you could call it. Then I got the 2.0, then the 3.0, then the Legacy body. So I've had those for a long time, and then the mod lights I've been running for a long time as well. But the Arisaka is a little bit newer to me. Same setup, you can run your Surefire accessories, so you can use your tape switches for your Surefire. This is the IWI Caramel for those of you that are interested. I have a video on that. It's a really interesting, unique gun. For those of you that are interested in the review, definitely take a look at that video. But this has been a really solid setup here. Got the 100 Concepts light cover, but light output's fantastic. Again, your lumens and candela, I'll show you guys everything here, but your lumens and candela are super important, and this has it. All three of these lights I have had really good durability with, no issues with that, and accessibility. All your accessories are there. You can have your mounting setup for your Surefire, so every single one mounts to your Surefire stuff, so you don't have to find any kind of proprietary mounting setup. Now they all come with that Surefire capability on the tail cap, and this one as well, you can connect right to a Surefire body. So Cloud Defensive is the only one that is more proprietary with the body where you can't switch their heads, but if you're going to run the Cloud Defensive, I recommend running their body anyway because it's a really nice whole setup. But this one as well has been really good, so I think Arisaka is a good choice for those of you that are looking for a light in that $200 to $300 price tag. My last choice in this price range is going to be Surefire. They have just been doing this for so long. They know exactly what they're doing. Their mounting setup now is fantastic. I really like their new mounts. Really easy to get that as close as possible to your gun. You don't have to buy anything aftermarket to attach it. It all runs right off your body. And of course, it works with all your accessories because everybody makes stuff for Surefire. So great lights. I would say the lumens and output and candela and everything seem to be a little less in my opinion. That's why a lot of people switch the heads out for other lights. But the lights as a whole, the whole combination that Surefire makes is phenomenal, and they've been proven in law enforcement, military, and everything else. This is what I mentioned here with the tape switch. So you see my cable is all the way through here. So if I didn't tape it like this, my cable would potentially be flapping around. So I just taped it here with some goon tape, and that is able to keep everything tight and nothing to be like a snag hazard. So that is a little example there of what I was talking about with cable management, but that is one downside to these. But you can also buy some different stuff now. A lot of companies have come out with different ways to manage your cable, but that is just another way to do it if you want to do the cheaper way. All the brands that I've mentioned so far all come as a micro option as well. So these are the full size, or it's a larger light, but they all have the option to have a micro if you would like to. So it's just a smaller light. Your run time's obviously going to be a little less. You might lose some other things as well. You'll just have to compare them when you're searching. But you do have the option to get a micro version if you want to. If you don't want such a large light on your rifle, you can go with the micro option. But each one of those brands do have that ability to do both if you want to. Now, for those of you that are thinking $300 for a flashlight, are you insane? And I have an option for you, and that is Streamlight. Streamlight makes phenomenal lights for a great price. A lot of value for what you're getting. So around that $100, $150 price tag, you're getting a really quality light that's still going to serve its purpose, give you a lot of candela and output and lumens, be durable enough, and be able to give you the options that you want for this kind of rifle. There are some downsides, obviously, because you are getting on that cheaper side, but if you don't want to spend $300, which I do recommend spending the higher money, especially for a rifle that is going to potentially save your life or somebody else's, the Streamlight stuff has been proven time and time again through law enforcement and other things like that. So I don't think Streamlight is a bad option at all. Even for those of you that have $300, Streamlight's still a really good option. They have things like the 2.0. They have the TLR 7, I believe this one is. It's hard to, so many names, so many options, different companies. But they have these lights that you can mount right here on top, which is pretty cool. And then it has the button right there, kind of like your N4 style. Then you have the original ProTac here on this rifle, and this is the micro version, so it's the smaller version, a little less output, but it's a lot smaller of a light. So you're getting a lot of options as well. Now, one thing to mention and note with Streamlight, and I have had this problem, is their older tape switch do have problems. It's a known problem, and Streamlight's really good about fixing them. I have, I think, 6 Streamlight ProTacs, and I think I've sent in 2 or 3 of the tape switches, and they've sent them back immediately. But just something I want you guys to know is their tape switches do have problems. Now, I was told they fixed that here with their new tape switches, and I'm glad to hear that, because they also fixed that they have a backup. So if your tape switch fails, you still have the option to use your light. The old ones don't have that, the new ones do. Only downside with these new ones is they are pretty big. That is a big light, but it's not so big that it's unusable. So they do have good options there. And then this is another option here for the tape. This is just a really, really long cable. So I used a zip tie on this one, and then I taped the rest here. So now let's go over an honorable mention. This is the HRT Tactical Flashlight, one that I have been testing here recently. This is just a very new light, so don't really have a ton of time of proving with them. But so far, the time that I've had with them, been very durable lights, have a lot of candela, a lot of output. Everything's good there. They have this really unique tape switch style. It's not even a tape switch. It's like a knobby thing here that is very unique and different. It's cool to see companies kind of trying something different opposed to the normal setup. So that's a really cool option. The fact that there's no tape or there's no wires or anything, everything's internal, and then you can rotate this and switch it to the other side. So it's a really cool option as well if you're looking for a different light. So there are a lot of other brands out there. These are just the ones that I had the most experience with and the ones that I trust my life with that I just wanted to talk to you guys about. Now, which one should you choose and do I recommend to you? I recommend each one of these lights. Every light that I mentioned in this video is a light that I would trust my life with, and I have on rifles that are put in roles that could potentially be used to protect someone's life or myself. So I trust each and every one of them. I suggest to you to compare them all, take the information that I gave you. I've got reviews on a lot of these, and make the decision what's best for you in your situation. It's really hard for me to tell you, okay, Cloud Defensive is the blanket light for everybody and you all should use them, because maybe it's not. Maybe you have different needs or wants or things that you want set up that Cloud Defensive maybe not fills that role. I don't think you'd be mad with Cloud Defensive, but I want to make sure you find the right light for yourself. I've got discount codes on some of these things. If you go through Brownells, you could save 10% on like Surefire, I believe Mod Light's on there, Cloud Defensive. You can also use my code through Cloud Defensive's website themselves, save 10%. So you could save a decent amount of money, especially when the lights are $300. That's over $30 you guys could save on these lights. So definitely take advantage of those codes. But all these lights are fantastic. They have a lot of great options. I'm really excited to see what they do here in the future, continuing to make output and candela and lumens even better. It's wild to see where lights have come from just 5-10 years ago with a light that I had on my handgun or my rifle was so low powered compared to the stuff that we have now. It's really cool to see the change and where we're going with things. So it'll be exciting to see what happens in a year or two from now and see what they come up with. So those are the lights. Hopefully this video was able to help you to get a good idea of what lights I recommend and that you should look into. If you guys are looking to help with the channel and the things I do here, there's a couple ways to do that down in the description, are some discount codes from companies that I personally trust, including the ones that I mentioned for the lights. And then there's a link to my link tree. Anything you order using those links does help out the channel, and I really appreciate that. If not, I just appreciate you guys liking, sharing, subscribing, and being interactive in the comments is always fun. I love talking with you guys in there. And a couple brands and companies that support me in the channel: Brownells, Howitzer, and Hold Up Display. Hold Up Display makes these amazing racks. Brownells, use code TA10 to save 10% off orders $150 or more. And Howitzer is a clothing brand that donates 5% of proceeds to charity. They've donated over $2 million already, which is wild. So definitely support them so they can support other people, and their clothing and apparel and shoes and jeans and everything else they have. They have pretty much everything is wonderful. So link in the description for my collaborative t-shirt that I did with them. I don't know if that's a word, but we're going to send it. And I appreciate you all. Thank you so much.